Let's be honest.
Keep breathing is kinda lame.
We open the show with our main character, Liv, waiting in an airport.
She's missed her flight to Inuvik and flags down a random passerby after overhearing that they're heading in that direction.
Ah, I see. If you can't rely on scheduling, rely on sheer luck.
They stand there and pretend to not want to take her with them when we can absolutely see by the poorly acted body language that they totally do.
Liv tells the pilots that she's a nervous crasher.
Why would she say that? It's not like they're gonna crash.
Oh no! Who could have seen this coming?
At least they landed in the water where it's safe.
Or not.
After rescuing one of the pilots named Sam, Liv puts her survival knowledge to the test to stop him from bleeding out.
That's lucky.
Seriously, at least this show will help us know what to do in this situation.
Yeah, I'm probably not getting in a plane after seeing this.
Liv decides to find higher ground so that she can get service on her cell.
She sees this beautiful landscape stretching out before her and yet doesn't take a picture for the gram.
Dude, she's trying to survive.
Oh, come on. One picture for the gram wouldn't hurt.
It kind of looks like one of those motivational posters you see at work.
Don't fly. You'll crash.
After spending a night under nothing but some branches to stay warm, Liv wakes up to find Sam gravely injured.
He reveals to Liv that no one is coming to rescue them and that she's on her own before dying.
That's awfully reassuring.
After Sam dies, a picture of an ultrasound washes ashore, hinting at the fact that Sam was flying to see his pregnant wife.
Liv tries to dive into the lake to retrieve supplies from the plane, but can't make it longer than a few seconds in the water as it's too cold.
She attempts to make a raft, but has a bit of trouble.
Personally, I'd be going for shelter as a priority and go rafting when I could afford to have fun.
I don't think she's doing it to have fun, dude.
Oh, yeah.
The show tries to get us to care more about Liv by flashing back to her dating life as a lawyer back home.
But we really don't need to see any of that to relate to our main character, as I've never been or dated a lawyer.
Seriously, a human starving to death in the wilderness is way more common than a lawyer finding love.
Liv finally makes it underwater and grabs supplies from the sunken plane.
While coming back up for air, Liv comes face to face with what we've all been waiting for.
A bear!
He eats her snacks and craps on her campsite before promptly leaving.
Rude.
The flashback sequence shows us a time in Liv's past where she nearly died of alcohol poisoning before discovering she was pregnant.
In the present, Liv uses the supplies she retrieved to start a fire.
Thankfully, the pair of glasses she found worked perfectly.
You saw it here, folks. If you have good eyesight, you're gonna be cold.
Liv decides to dump some pills out in the hopes that the bear will come back and eat them all.
After doing so, she starts to collect water to drink and,
Was that?
I guess she needs to boil that out.
Liv is constantly haunted by Sam's ghost for some reason.
His spectral form keeps harassing her even though she saved him from drowning and did her best to keep him alive.
What an ungrateful spirit.
Liv puts together some floss and a stick to make a fishing rod.
Now the show just got good.
If I ain't fishing, I ain't happy.
The show flashes back to show us Liv's workaholic past.
She grinded away at her job even while her father was sick and in the hospital.
Wow, this show really teaches us a valuable lesson.
Yeah, don't take your family for granted or else your plane will crash in the Canadian wilderness.
Liv collects a multitude of berries and ends up tripping balls on some poisonous ones, causing her to have a dream about a bear.
This inspires her to check the bear's crap from earlier and find the right berries to eat.
Wow, thanks, Dream Bear!
Liv scales a mountain at nightfall and in the darkness ends up spotting a light nearly a mile away.
It's probably cannibals.
The next day, she decides to set out but gets lost after accidentally running in circles.
Thankfully, a traumatic childhood memory reminds her of how to create a compass.
Yeah, my childhood memories would just remind me of how to eat lunch alone or puke during a stage play.
Are you okay?
I am now.
A raccoon startles Liv and throws us into a flashback, which throws us into a flashback from there.
Oh, come on! I've already learned this lesson from little Einsteins and backyardigans.
Don't take life for granted, or else life will take you for granted.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird backyardigans episode.
When a plane flies overhead, an excited Liv chases after it before falling into a sinkhole and getting pinned under a rock.
The show really lays on the dream allegory thing heavy while Liv is trapped under the rock.
I don't know if my mind would be racing through this weird multiverse autobiography. I'd probably just be thinking, smash rock.
She finally gets out from under the rock and immediately falls off a cliff.
We then have a flashback that shows us how Liv is kind of a terrible person.
Jeez, Liv, the doc was just trying to reassure you.
Dude, she's a lawyer, remember?
Liv suffers a pretty bad leg injury from the fall, but she pushes forward.
Thankfully, Sam's strangely bitter ghost has stopped haunting her.
Now it's the not ghost of her ex-boyfriend from back home.
We get a montage of Liv hiking through the forest to the sound of a guided meditation.
We try not to fall asleep.
Just when all hope seems lost, Liv hears cars in the distance.
Only the sound she thought was cars is actually a rushing river. As the show goes on, it tends to trade a lot of awesome wilderness survival scenes for not so exciting character development hallucinations.
Liv decides her best bet is to hop in the rushing river and hope it takes her somewhere safe.
As she floats down the river, her whole life flashes before her eyes, showing us how fleeting it can be.
What better way to portray that message than through a show that wastes 3 hours of your time?
True.